This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Ranger Podcast. And today we're going to review the Power Rangers episode 13 of Power Rangers Dino Fury. And today's episode title is called The Matchmaker. And today I will be your host. You guys know me as Red Star from the Sentai Hero Special and also special appearances from Kamen Rider, like those Rider Time podcasts. And also here are my co-hosts, that is Dagger Boy and Quasar Red.
We don't normally have this combination very much.
I know, so we're back to a 3-team Megazord. I'm okay. Dibs on Red Ranger.
I call blue.
I call green.
Okay, blue green. So we're red blue green first combination. All right. Okay.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna go with that. So everybody, like in this episode, we have a strange twist that happened, and it is a good twist because I never thought this would happen. So let's start with a small comments. Like, what are your thoughts of this episode?
Before we start, there's a special episode for Tessa's character and basically, her character. So, and also the special certain kind of community. So,
Yes, a huge plot twist is just revealed, and something about Void Knight, whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, thoughts?
Okay. I guess I'll go. While you guys were watching episode 12, I was watching this one because I just thought it was like really interesting. Like the big revelation at the end, and it is cool that we are, if the show feels they're ready to tackle an LGBT member, that's all for it. Rock on. Something I'll get into next time is I'm surprised how direct they are about it. So anyway, Ryan, you go.
This is a very honestly, I was not surprised. I was not surprised at this episode. Well, mainly because there were some hints in some episodes. Again, see the hints, but I'm actually happy it happened. It's a long time coming. It should have happened a long time ago. I'm actually glad that Hasbro was able to do this. So honestly, I like this episode. Now, is it the best episode? No. People have been overhyping it. No, it was not one of the best episodes, but it was a good episode. But also an important episode going forward in Power Rangers history. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think this episode is decent, and if y'all know, that's like in the beginning, before we started reviewing Power Rangers Dino Fury, I knew that the Green Ranger in Dino Fury would make a huge impact to this series, and I knew this will be the game changer because I've finished reviewing the whole Japanese version of like a Super Sentai, like a Ryusoldier. So, this is good. So, I have full praise that the Green Ranger will do well, and I was right. So, well, without further ado, let's so after hearing all my co-stars like thoughts about the episodes, let's get down to the episode 13, The Matchmaker. So, let's who would like to give us the first beginning part?
Okay,
Ryan's focus.
All right.
Fine. Oh, I don't want to do this. Fine. Okay. Special episode. Okay, so we first start off with the Rangers training. Of course, you remember the last episode, the coach, who was the greedy coach, screwed up, and Tessa. Sorry, I forgot her. Izzy. Sorry, I'm so used to. Hey, we're friends with the. Anyway, so Izzy, go back to picture up. So Izzy is now actually in charge of the actual original members of the actual original gym membership, the gyms, and now she's actually training all these other athletes. And we have Izzy training basically all returning co-stars. Like, what's her name again? This girl. Show?
Fern, I
Fern?
think.
Yeah, Fern. Fern and what's the guy's name again?
Adrian.
Andre? Adrian.
Adrian, yes. So basically, she's training them, and basically, she's actually doing a good job. They're actually doing better. She's a great role model to these kids. Kids. Well, yeah, they're technically kids. High school. And then we see Izzy and Adrian having a little, not spling, but they're having too much of a good time, according to Chase. So Chase suspects that these two are, well, that Izzy has a crush on Adrian.
Javi, right?
Now,
Mhm.
yeah, Javi. So Javi's like, okay, ooh, like basically he talks to Amelia. It's like, hey, do you like Izzy looks happy, and then they're like, yeah, she does look happy, and they find, but and then Javi basically suspects or assumes that Izzy likes Adrian because there's a scene where they're training together and they look all happy together. Now Javi goes to Adrian saying like, hey, I think she likes you. Now that was kind of awkward, but it was actually realistic. So basically, Javi trying to matchmake Adrian with Izzy. Now Adrian's like, wait, well, no, I like her, but not as a, But before he could continue, Slider Campbell, Slider, tries to, basically disguises himself as one of the, you know, the
But-
athletes. Yeah,
Mhm.
and he overhears like, hey, that maybe like Izzy likes Adrian, so he makes a plan like, hey, let's kidnap Adrian, and I'll disguise as Adrian. So he got Fog. It was Foghorn, right?
Fog,
Fog show?
Fogshell or Foghorn?
Clam
I think you're
Foggy Dude.
thinking of like Foghorn Leghorn.
Fog
Fog
Monster.
shell. This fog shell.
Fog Monster. Let's call him Fog Monster. No, Fogger. Let's call him Fogger. Okay, Fogger.
You want to call it
Sounds wrong.
Fogger?
Fogger,
Sounds
good.
wrong.
Fogger. Fine, Foghorn, whatever. So Fog Boy. So
Sorry. Keep going.
So Fog Boy, fine, Fog Boy. So Fog Boy basically makes a fog to distract the Rangers. They ambush the whole training team. And Slider kidnaps, of course, Adrian. Well, Foghorn kidnaps Adrian, but Mucus and was another monster? Yeah, Foghorn and Mucus kidnaps Adrian, the real Adrian, and Slider becomes Adrian. So basically, he disguises himself,
Mhm.
right? And then we go. So basically, that's what happens. And then we go back, and then where's that? Actually, then we go back to Buzz Blast, right?
No, we didn't. It actually, Hunter said, oh, sorry, Amelia says she has a podcast she has to get ready for. And
The Loch Ness Monster.
yes, and like the others had something else to do, so they teleport away.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. My. Sorry, I was thinking of Head. Sorry, I just watched another episode. But
oh my gosh, another episode that does not feature
Loch Ness Monster.
not the Loch Ness Monster, her boss, and the android. So 10 out of 10. This episode's another 10 out of 10 for me. Okay.
Oh my god. Anyway,
You've already
Jay
caught
Boy.
up, I guess.
so anyway,
J-board.
Javi tries to. Basically, they make a plan. So Javi invites Izzy to a taco date, right? For them
Right.
having tacos.
hmm
Yes. And he invites Javi. And what's funny is we see Fern there. Now, that was a casual greet up. So now this is where I'm sorry, Javi. So sorry, Kent. You were kind of acting like a little jerk here. What the heck, man? Why? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
It's Nickelodeon. I didn't think they did.
Now
this.
you, man, you're Javi. What's wrong with you? Why are you trying to hook?
That's what I'm saying. It's Nickelodeon. I didn't think they'd go this far or tackle this territory yet.
Yeah. So anyway, we see Javi try to talk to Fern like, hey, Fern, right now this is kind of a date, so Izzy and Javi like each other. So that's where it was a big red flag. I'm like, okay, I get it, you're trying to matchmake, but you didn't ask the person's permission if you could
Mhm.
matchmake. So kids out there or elderly people are watching this, please don't do that. You want to matchmake. It's a big red flag. But that's a good lesson too. That was a good lesson to people.
Mhm.
So Javi
Mhm.
being a jerk takes Fern out. Well, it's simple. Basically tells Fern, hey, it's a date. Okay, so Fern kind of hints to Javi that, hey, I like girls.
Mhm.
Yeah, that part was a little surprising to hear.
I like
No.
girls. So I was like, oh, okay. So he's like, oh,
No,
okay, that's
no,
fine.
no. Wait, she actually says, "I don't date boys."
Oh, I don't maybe so. Anyway, so they basically Javi leaves like, hey, I need to do something. He's like, what? Basically, there's excuses, and you see Izzy and Adrian. Well, Slider. That's actually Slider. Basically, Well, Slider's plan is to influence Izzy to taking him to the base, right?
Or stealing her
Or stealing
communicator.
So what's funny is we see Slider trying to woo her using old 18th century style flirting. I'm like,
What, a scroll? A poem scroll.
Hey, that would actually be before. People actually did that before. Or had a
Mhm.
court case. That was actually real. But
Mhm.
knowing Slider, he's like he didn't know about this current generations of flirting, right? Or dating or courting.
It's Slider. He has to be majestic about everything.
Yes, but
Grandiose.
still grandiose. So anyway, Slider does kind of tell like, hey, I like you. So he's like, wait, whoa. So they get out, right? They don't because they're making a scene, right? Well, Slider's making a scene. They go to somewhere private where is he trying to tell like, hey, I like you as a friend, but I don't like have feelings for you. Until Slider reveals himself to her, like, hey, I want your communicator. It doesn't work well. It actually
Mhm.
failed. So kudos to Izzy. And we go back to the base where Izzy and Javi have a huge well, they didn't have a fight, but basically I'm like, Izzy tells Javi like, hey, you should have done that. That's a big no. Even kudos to his teammates, they agree that that's not a good idea. Like, so kids, or heck no, even parents, if you're gonna matchmake your kids when it turns to like teenagers or young adults, ask permission from the other second party, like the one you want to matchmake with them. Let them know because that is also a big red flag that can cause a lot of drama and tension. So it's like,
Mhm.
for example, let's say I don't know Kent, right? I don't know
Mhm.
Kent, and my mom gives him my cell phone without my permission.
Mhm.
Exactly.
See,
Mm-hmm.
that's called consent, people.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Izzy's like, okay, screw it. I'm mad at you, but screw it. They have Adrian. We need to save him. So they make a deal with Slider. Okay, we'll give you the Sporix box if you free Adrian, right? I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Sporix. So they do it. They go to the alley. They go to the plaza.
Yes.
And I like this scene a lot because basically they did give the Sporix box, but the plan was they actually use the one of the Dino keys that can multiply, like this guy's what do you call it, multiply an item.
The double key.
Yes, the double key. What?
Or let's just call it duplicate.
Duplicate key.
Mm-hmm.
So the box that Slider did get was actually a fake box.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then but they did know that they were gonna double cross them. So at least I like about these Ranger team, they actually knew they were gonna double cross. So we found out Slider would not free, or Foghorn would not free Adrian. So we have the other Rangers disguised as civilians, ambushing Foghorn. See?
Also, I just want to say right quick that Russell deserves an Oscar for staying so serious while wearing that granny outfit.
Yeah, I actually like that.
Mm.
Mhm. So,
And then after that, Ken, you sure don't want to go?
okay. Actually,
Oh.
I think I can.
Yeah, okay.
I think I can get it. So a fight breaks out. The team morphs. Then the monster does this goofy pun about growing and all. Also, by the way, Slither. He gets a little fighting in on, which is kind of funny because while Zool was always like, "Oh, I can't fight" or something, or I'm too much of a wimp to fight. But anyway, they summon the Zords. T-Rex champion and the pink and yellow and the Triceratops and Ankylozord. But Foghorn Leghorn causes a huge smoke and covers the whole city in it. And in the chaos, T-Rex champion accidentally strikes down blue and pink, so they're unable to work. They're unable to fight, and so they summon the Dimetro Fire Zord. Which, by the way, I can't remember if I've mentioned this before, but the shoulder pads look cool. But it looks like he has giving two giant thumbs ups, which is a little.
Speaking of someone being late, Void. Oh, actually, no. Let's wait for this person. Wait, continue, Kent.
Okay, so the fight continues. So the fight continues. They just they impale the shell monster, and you want to go next, Ren?
Okay, so now we see it. So when we go back to Okay, we go back to
Wait,
Area
what?
53, Area 52. Yes, and we see Void Knight basically. Oh, we got the sporks. Basically, they're like, "Oh my God, the sporks are here! You guys, succeed." But it was actually fake Fox due to the duplicate key, and he gets pissed. And we actually go back to see Mr. Freeze take off his mask, and oh my gosh, he's actually here. What do you want, Freeze?
I am not 15 minutes late. You are half an hour early.
You're totally late, dude.
I thought it was 5 o'clock.
Anyway, Mr.
The
Freeze.
thing said 5 o'clock.
It said 4:30. Anyway, Mr. Freeze, what
The
happened?
thing yesterday said 5 o'clock.
Anyway, Mr. Freeze.
And yes, it is true. I look just like the repairman from Ninja Steel.
And at least you don't look like that makeup monster from Dino Charge.
Anyway,
And,
So-
I will overpower the Red Ranger just like I did in Jungle Fury.
yeah, so we find out Void Knight's actually a human.
Or,
Or humanoid.
he just looks human. Rita, Andros, Drakina.
Keep in mind, Chaosians are reptilious humanoids.
Mhm.
Alright. So we find go back to the picture. So Mr. Freeze. Sorry. So anyway, Mr. Freeze. So we find out that Void Knight is actually human. And yeah, basically this episode is actually very special. A revelation that Void Knight actually is human. Humanoid. And that the highlight of the episode today, we find out that Izzy is actually an LGBTQ. Yeah, she's a guy, she's lesbian. And oh my god, actually when I watched that, I'm like, oh, wow, there's actually representation. So kudos to Hasbro for doing this. Very special. It is, I mean, it is kind of late now, but hey, at least you did very special. So kudos to the writers for doing this. And now, yeah, let's see what happens. Hopefully it develops unlike a certain season where they didn't even Ninja Steel. Doing kissing scene. Anyway, so yeah, the episode ends with Izzy and Fern having a couple. So, Clement, back to your hosting.
All right. So we just finished reviewing. So we just finished our thoughts and the synopsis of the episode. Okay. Now I have personal questions. Now I have questions for each and one of you. All right. So my question for Kent, what are your thoughts on the Fog Shell coming back for the second time in this episode? Because usually per monsters they only survive one episode. Do you feel like Fog Shell served its purpose on this episode?
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty clever use of the monster. Thought it was, like I said last week, it was neat that we actually didn't have it end with a Zord battle, and so it was neat to take a little break that up a bit, unlike other shows, which ironically we were talking about yesterday, Zenkaiger. But that, and also, yeah, it was, like I said, Dino Fury has been really good about how they use their footage from Rhea Soldier, so that it was cool. And also it was neat, some monsters in previous seasons, they would appear and just suddenly vanish and are never seen or mentioned again. Here, it's cool that, we get a monster in one episode, he comes back in the other. Or also speaking of that whole disappearing thing, sometimes monsters come back with it after they've already been destroyed, like that Frankenstein dude from season 1. Okay.
All right, now my question for Dagger Boy. Do you feel Javi is meddling and he shouldn't have done that to his sister?
Yes, because matchmaking. Because I've been part of some matchmaking in the past. It's fine to matchmake, but the thing is, as a matchmaker, you have to ask the second. Example here, I'll say this. Let's say me, Mike, and Kent are. I want to matchmake Mike with Kent, right? So I'll be like, "Hey, Mike, I have a friend. He's really cute. Maybe he's your type. Do you want to meet him or have a little date with him?"
As long as he doesn't live 2 time zones away, sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. So basically, can I send your number?
Hmm.
So I'll be
Well,
like, can I send your number or your
Then
email?
and of
again,
course, if I give him permission, yes. But if I don't give Kent my number.
Okay. So first I said, so it's good for you, right? Right. So
then
you're
again, Chase is, a
no,
teenager,
but like,
so
I'll be like, so Mike, so it's good. You want to date Kent? You want interested in Kent, right?
Okay, to humor the scenario, yes.
Okay, so Kent, so Kent, so my friend Mike, seriously, do you want? Can I give you? Do you use your number? Right? Can I? Yeah.
as long as he calls me the next day.
Okay, so yeah, see now you guys see what I mean, right? Now there is legit consent, right? So what
Mhm.
Javi did was he just assumed and did not even tell. Now that's bad matchmaking.
Then again,
That can
he
be
is. Then again, he's not an expert at this whole thing. It's he is a teenager after all.
I know, but still, it's a good example to anyone wants to matchmake their kids who turn to young adults or teenagers. Just let you know, because I was actually part of some matchmaking before. So
Did you have it? Did you have a bad experience with matchmaking?
where no consent, no,
Ah, okay.
no. All my matchmakers were my matchmakings in my past had consent. So
Hmm. All right.
yeah.
All right. So now my question for Mike. All right.
Mhm.
So do you feel like this has been a long this has been hold for a long time that we've seen a different different change for a Power Ranger character to go like from turning into a lesbian? Do you think it's been a
Well,
hold
I don't
a
think
long
anyone
time?
turns into a lesbian. You just happen
No, like
to
the character, yeah.
um let's see. I could speak from the perspective of myself being a member of the LGBT community, but I think the a better way of answering it is talking about a bit of experience I had in 20 yeah 2014 at PMC, the first time David Yost was a guest, and I actually asked him about having LGBT characters on the show, and I didn't understand what he meant by what he said right away until about 2 years later, and I think I understand now. What he said was, I'm okay with it depending on how you write the character, and
Mhm.
and he made it, and he really emphasized the phrase how. And given a lot of shows, mainly comparing the show Orphan Black and Supergirl, one of which I'm a fan of, the other not so much, I finally understood what he meant by that. And the thing is, and long story short, honestly, I'm indifferent whether or not Izzy is LGBT. I mean, she's LGBT, cool. uh but I'm more concerned with, will Fern treat her right, or will she be a jerk to her at some point? And I hope it's not the latter. Also, I hope Fern won't just be arm candy for Izzy, just to be like one done check off the list. I would like Fern to actually be a more like a recurring support character, just like how Richie and Curtis were. And I won't stop bringing up Richie and Curtis from season 2. I want her to be a regular character as well as Adrian. But yeah, it's like they're like if they're gonna be a couple, I hope it's like Cosima and Daphne from Orphan Black, and not like Alex and Maggie from Supergirl. That's all I ask for.
Let's just
All
hope
right.
that
Yeah.
Izzy isn't sent to a peace conference and then suddenly Fern disappears.
That too. And
Oh.
also my lack of perceived enthusiasm also comes from the fact that I've watched 1505 episodes of Kamen Rider, where in 2010 we had a trans character, in 2013 we had an openly gay Kamen Rider, who to this day is still one of the most popular characters in the entire franchise. And then just last year we had a Kamen Rider who identified as non-binary, ironically in a season called 01. So I'm just
All
I'm
right.
just too accustomed.
Okay. Well, I personally like this direction that what they're writing for Izzy, and it's good. And we need representation at the time this year, and it's good. I personally like it, and I want to see how this story goes on. All right.
And Izzy is like one of the best characters in this season.
All
Wait,
right.
hold up. So, guys, I'm gonna stop this podcast for a while. So, if you see anything inappropriate in the comments, I will block you or I will call you out. Just let you know. I can see who's commenting anything inappropriate. All right. So that person, that person. I know who you are. I see your comments. So, this is my first warning. After
Mhm.
two warnings, I'm calling you out. Okay. So, can you comment?
All right, now I have a fun this is a fun moment. Like the moment we see Void Knight's face for the first time. Okay, I want to ask each and every one of you, what are your theories of like where's he from and what do you think his true purpose is going to be? So I'm going to go each and every one of you. So Mike, you're going to go first and then I'll go to Dagger Boy and then Kent.
Well, I half expected him to look like his voice actor. So, as I mean, the thing is, a lot of us really did expect him to be Rafconian, possibly even a former member of the main team. I mean, it's kind of obvious that he's definitely not Aeon, but I mean, maybe he could be from a rival. He could either be another Rafconian who went rogue. Maybe he could be from a rival planet like Gigantian versus Planet X from Transformers Cybertron. Honestly, part of me is a little upset that Aeon isn't Equation, because of the whole he's from Atlantis and he could psychically communicate with his Zord thing. Just say.
Mike, that's spoiler. We haven't gotten to that yet.
Oh, okay. All right. So, okay. Now, what about you, Dagger Boy?
Void Knight reveal. It is interesting. I might know more what's going on, but I can't say. But at least with this reveal, I'll just say this:
Aha.
you're gonna be excited. I did see some episodes ahead of time, but Void Knight's reveal, you're gonna like it. You'll be surprised.
Okay, that smile just just says it all, man. All right. Okay.
My thoughts.
And what about you, Kent?
I'll make this quick. My thought on Void Knight. Amelia's dad. Amelia and the woman in the case is her mom. But what I will say though, right quick, is it is really cool that Power Rangers is using their voice actors in a clever way again. Because like back in Dino Charge, they had like one episode where they had a makeup monster take on the form of a human girl, and they had a woman do the voice of the makeup monster. And yeah, I was like, couldn't they have just had the actual girl be the voice of the monster? Wait for it, Mike. Have like they had to do ADR work for her anyway, so I mean it seems like it's kind of a pointless overuse of characters. I mean they actually but what I like it are overuse of actors. So I thought it was cool that they are finally doing this again with, like having the voices and also be the humans. Kind of like Mesogog and Grum and the Psycho Rangers. So
Okay.
All right.
So
Now my question for each of you is what we like and what we don't like about the episode.
okay. So all right. Me? Okay. So
Yeah.
you asked us some personal questions. Okay. So what we liked, I liked I like Izzy's character again. It developed. We saw more of her. We saw that yes, Javi did look like was kind of a jerk. Well, yeah, not a jerk, but basically he didn't know. So people were hating on Javi, like, no, guys, like he didn't. Well, he's a teenager. Well, no, actually, no, he's not a teenager. He's an adult. But anyway, but it does show a good lesson to. I like about the episode. It does show a good lesson to people, like, hey, you want to matchmake, make sure you ask the person's permission, right? Like either like the first party or the second party's permission to communicate. That's matchmaking. What's also called blind dates. What else? What else? After that, White Knight's reveal. I liked it. Very subtle. And actually he's a humanoid. Action was good. I actually like Slider a lot in this episode. Shout out to Campbell. Yeah, Slider's really good. And what else? Izzy's reveal. Yeah, I kind of saw it ahead of time. Like there were some hints in some previous episodes, and yeah, I'm actually glad that we finally have our first LGBTQ focused character in Power Rangers. So kudos to the writers. And what's cool, I like what the season they actually showed the first like representation of like with people with autism, not autism, with like
Mm.
some kind of like like special needs.
Progressive.
Yes.
So so kudos to Hasbro.
All right. What about you, Quasar?
Like I said, I thought this episode had my attention more than episode 12. Like I said, good action. I'm not really sure if the villain's plan was quite as clever this time, but it was decent. And I also like how the Rangers actually did the double cross, because normally it's the villains. Well, technically both of them do the double cross, but the Rangers did the one that actually worked. And so that was cool. Showing that they're able to be sneaky when they want to, and also, like I said, clever use of the Sentai footage and clever use of the villain monster character. And also, like I said, it's neat to see Slither actually get in on the fight, because, like I said, I think Wazul never really did much battling in Ryu. And what else? Yeah, Void Knight's intro. I think or Void Knight's reveal. It's pretty cool. I am like really interested to see where this goes. And like I said, the fact that Amelia's parents are missing, and Void Knight is trying to bring back his lost love. And I feel like there's a few little like these two things seem too big of a coincidence. And also, there was one other thing I want to mention. If the show thinks they're ready to tackle a character that's a lesbian, I'm all for it. Like I said, I'm gonna get into this next time, but I wasn't expecting them to be so open about about the fact that they were LGBT members. So overall, I would score this one. Oh, right, Jay Borgen, the boss.
Oh, sorry, I didn't score. I didn't score. My bad. Sorry.
Right, Jay Borgen.
9 out of 10 for me. 9 out of 10. But
Jay,
yeah, 9 out of 10 for me.
Jay Borgen, the boss, weren't in this episode, so like I said, I guess 10 out of 10.
Okay. What about you, Mike?
Oh my god.
Okay. I mean, I'll say this. One, it's nice to finally, for once, see a monster actually survive more than one episode. Like a monster of a day survive for more than one episode. Because lately, I feel like they just keep dying on the same episode they're introduced, unless someone makes a copy of that same monster that's either dead and then reborn or just like upgraded. But no, the monster just straight up stayed alive, stayed alive, and yeah, Slither doing like disguising himself as the loved one of a ranger. I find it interesting the timing of like what a crazy coincidence that he's spying on the Rangers at the perfect time when he overhears a Ranger say something that could be potentially vulnerable of another Ranger. Granted, it was misinterpreted just as the Ranger themselves did, but what a crazy fun coincidence it was.
Right quick, to quote the narrator of George of the Jungle, every story gets to have a really big coincidence, and here's ours.
Yes, I actually appreciated they introduced Adrian and reintroduced Fern last time because I feel like if they didn't get a little more spotlight like they did in the previous episode, then this episode would not work as well, because then they'd be like, who is this random guy that Javi's trying to set Izzy up on a date with? If anything, I would say I would have loved to see more episodes of both Fern and Adrian, not necessarily together, but both of them more before they would do this episode. Especially have more episodes in the past where Fern was being a jerk to Izzy, because I remember the first time she shows up, they had a rivalry. And I get it, like the whole ankle thing, like to change her mind. I get that, but I'm just saying, like, just spread it out a little bit more. But as far as the big reveal goes, I had no problem with it. They, like I said, when I talked to David Yost, the question is not whether or not they do it, but how they do it. I had no problem with the way they did it. Though, if I could make one bit of improvement to it, just one bit of Jim Cornetting. Okay, the one thing I would Jim Cornette about that plot is when Fern said I don't date guys, it kind of gave away a little too much in that. Okay, we see what's gonna happen. Is she actually is interested in she's actually interested in Izzy, and they're gonna start dating each other at the end of the episode. What if you could change one line? I would say have her instead say, Javi, I'm just not interested in you, and just leave it at that. Because one, when she looks disgusted when Javi reveals that he wants to set Izzy up on a date with Adrian, like the looking of disgust might not necessarily be like, oh my god, I thought the girl was into me. No, you might interpret it as, really, they have no chemistry. Why would they date each other? It's adding to the misdirection, and then it'll be that much more of a surprise when you do see Izzy and Fern together at the end of the episode. Again, it's just a nitpick, but Void Knight though. Can't wait to see what happens next. All in all, I give the episode a 9 out of 10.
All right, Clement, what's your pros, cons, and your score?
I give this episode a 9 out of 10. What I like about this episode is the comedy. I really enjoyed the comedy with Mucus and Slyther. You know, at the end when he believed that he got the Sporex, he had like this big hoopla way of like showing the celebration that I got the Sporex box with the trumpets and the henchmen lining up, and then Void Knight just got disappointed that it's a fake. I just like that reaction. It's just hilarious. And man, Void Knight could be brutal. Like when he threw that gong disc through and sliced Mucus in half, I was like, oh,
he's Kylo Ren.
Yep. Void Knight just pulled a Kylo Ren in this episode, and I like it. It's pretty fun and entertaining. And Slyther having a very poor fashion sense as a disguise as one of the participants at Izzy's workout, and being fake Adrian with that kind of get up. I just like how Slyther's fashion sense is just funny and goofy and cartoonish, like a showman is. But what I don't like about the episode is that like there are some scenes like where the Megazord got these parts. I don't know how they got it. With the blazing fire like key. I don't know how that happened. I thought it was like a special weapon that could be earned, and also I don't like the idea they went to a taco. I mean,
no, they're teenagers, so keep in mind.
Taco trucks. Okay, it's
teenagers.
not
bad. Izzy's a teenager. She doesn't have a job, so is Avi. He's technically a teenager, so it makes sense.
All right. Okay, then I can understand that then. All right, so overall, 9 out of 10. I like it, and I just want to see how this will lead up to, and now I want to know more about what Void Knight wants to do with like now we know what we're up against, and our Rangers are up against. Now we just need to know what he really wants to do, what Void and I really want to do. So, yeah, 9 out of 10, and that's my thoughts.
Okay, now we go to comments time. Edward Sanchez says hello. What's up? Hello. Thomas Franco, hey, hello.
Hello.
Psycho Orange. I thought this was an okay episode. Could have been better in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, that's why we give it 9s.
Technically, my score was a 9, but I gave it brownie points because, no J-Borg and no unnecessary comic relief scene.
Psycho Orange. I'm working on new. Nice. Okay. Good luck, man. Support. Izzy is my. Oh, Monty says hello. What's up, Monty? Izzy is my favorite. Same here.
Oh yeah.
Shouts to Tessa. You did well in this episode.
I got her a sweater for a reason.
I'm so happy we get to see what Void Knight's face looks like. Yep, and he's actually humanoid, so. Theory. Void Knight is Amelia's dad.
That's what I'm saying too.
That's what we're saying too. Like,
Ooh.
there's a high. It's so coincidental.
It would be interesting.
This app would be.
I did say last time, like, what if Amelia kind of significance because her parents are missing?
Mhm.
Clay Robinson, Hasbro doing open gate. Yeah, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. Okay. I know there's more comments, but guys, I cannot spoil this. Those are spoilers, so can't say anything. But anyway, again, this is thank you for being part of Special Podcast. It was a really good episode. I really liked it, and so unfortunately, the whole crew's not here because they had duties and other stuff. It's Saturday, so keep in mind. But we're still here. We took our time for you guys because we love you guys.
Mm.
Updates. We're gonna have an interview this Thursday. We're gonna interview. I'm gonna interview the Red Alien Ranger, David Bacon, for the first time. His first appearance since 1996. We might have another interview this week. I cannot say who, but I don't know if we can. But I might have another big interview this week. So keep your fingers crossed. The Saturday, guys, you know the leaks. The Saturday is a very special episode. I won't say what, but I know the leaks. There's a special episode. Fortunately, I won't be here. I'll be in Boston. Well, I'll be in East Coast for 2 weeks. So, Void Knight take over. Void Knight and Hobby you take over.
Hmm.
What are you going to do? These two will be entertaining you guys for 2 weeks.
Oh boy.
Why are you gonna be gone 2 weeks?
Well, 1 week. Well, Saturday. I won't be here on Saturday, and actually, wait. Yeah, guys. Tell you where I'm going. So, hold up. Calendar. October 2.
Calendar.
Oh yeah, I'll be here then. I'll be here in 2 weeks. Never mind. I'll be here that Saturday, October 9th.
So you will get to review the big one with us.
There's 2 big ones. But I'll be in the other big one,
Hmm.
and Jen has to be in that too. So, wink, wink. Anyway, but yes, guys, where can I find you? Starting with Sistar.
All right, so you guys can find me on Instagram, Celia1031, and hanging around the Morphin Network. I'm always there. So very obvious, guys. You guys can find me, and we've been saying this since the beginning.
Mr.
All right.
Freeze.
You could find me on Instagram at chrono_just_cosplay. And you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto.
Teddy Bear.
Instagram brown_k as well as QR Rangerbook.
You can find me Instagram DancerBoy247, and please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at the Morphin Network. Again, guys, so see you guys this Thursday for an interview with David Bacon, the Red Alien, Mighty Morphin Alien Ranger. And again, I might have another interview this week. Let's see. But till then, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Smile and wave, boys.
And always link the Morphin Grid.
What?
And always link the Morphin Grid.
What
All right?
the heck? Okay. Smile and wave. Bye.